Orion telescope has ceased operations. This video is for all the Orion customers out there who were left in the lurch. What do we do now? Just after midnight on August 1st, Orion Telescope's website, located at telescope.com, completely vanished. It went from this to this. Now, this disappearance seems to confirm the Sky and Telescope report earlier in the month that Orion had shut down their headquarters and laid off all their employees on Tuesday, July 9th. Kind of an odd day. I think that usually happens on Fridays, but anyway. It would seem that their website hosting contract continued until the last day of July, either marking the end of their contract or perhaps a lack of payment. Who knows? There's no information. I've never actually seen a company shut down so completely and so suddenly, virtually sucked into an information black hole where there is no official news of any type, not even a press release. This shutdown appears to have been so sudden and so chaotic that it makes me wonder if any of the regular employees even knew about it. If you are a former employee, feel free to leave a comment down below. Now, with that said, I had a couple of odd experiences in the weeks that were leading up to the shutdown that, in hindsight, probably should have gotten my attention. I'll be discussing those throughout this video. Plus, it also seems that the headquarters building in Watsonville, California actually went up for sale even earlier than the shutdown, which is somewhat bizarre. Now, anyways, from what I can tell, though, I doubt that any of the technical support staff knew what was coming. I really hope that's the case because I personally know of a few of you out there that are watching who are out thousands of dollars because of the shutdown, which is simply unforgivable. I'll talk about that in a minute as well. The repercussions from the shutdown, they're huge and they're going to take a while to sort out. Now, for me personally, I've been a huge supporter of Orion equipment. I fix a lot of their telescopes in my videos. I do a lot of restorations. And many of the affiliate links in my video description boxes were for Orion products, but those links are all dead now. And since the shutdown, I've actually spent a lot of time on each of the videos updating those links to satisfactory replacements. There's actually one case where that was a very important switch, and I'll get to that later on. This could be part of the library telescope program. But let's talk about the more disturbing issues at play. Despite letting everybody go on July 9th, Orion's website kept operating in a type of zombie mode, continuing, I guess, to take orders with no ability or perhaps any intention to actually fulfill them. The right thing to do would have been to shut down the website and have Amazon quit taking orders. I have to assume that the shutdown was perhaps so sudden, so chaotic that their corporate leadership cut off the web developers' access immediately. Why would they do this? It just makes no sense, really. If you actually received any orders after July 9th, please leave a comment down below. Now, the death of the website really leaves customers in the lurch because it also meant the vanishing of all support materials like user manuals and support files, and more importantly, firmware updates for all the GoTo telescopes that are spread throughout the world. I personally have used those on a lot of my restorations. Thankfully, those are still available on the internet using the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine. I put links to those files in the description. Just be aware that they can be slow. Now, by the way, if you're finding this video helpful, please be kind and gently press that like button. Consider subscribing for future videos. Don't smash the like button, just gently push the like button. Orion's parent company, Optronic Technologies, also owned several other telescope companies, including Meade, which itself owned Coronado. Meade has a factory in Tijuana, and I haven't had any confirmation that it shut down too. It could be operating, I don't know. I called Meade, and their recorded message tells you to email them, which I did, and they never responded. So it would seem that the once great Meade might also be a victim of Orion's demise. I've sent messages to a few of the people that I know worked at Orion, but haven't gotten any single reply yet. Their posts on LinkedIn seem to show that they were let go, some of them working there for many years. I sincerely hope that their YouTube guy, Ken, is able to find a good job. For many of us, he was the user manual for many of our Orion products. A funny story, years ago, I called their technical support, and to my surprise, Ken actually answered the phone. I recognized his voice right away. I was like, "Hey, you're Ken." He's like, "Yeah, that's me." Seemed like a super nice guy. He was helpful, and the technical issue was resolved right away. Again, he did a great job with Orion's YouTube channel, and I hope all the best for him and his crew. And as of today, their YouTube channel still looks active. I hope it stays that way. I had two bizarre experiences that really should have sent up red flags for me, but I didn't realize it at the time. The first was with their fantastic smartphone app called Starseek, and at $15 it was the most expensive smartphone app that I've ever bought. Now, sometime in May, when I tried to use it, it said my license had expired, which made no sense. It's an app, right? That doesn't expire. It turns out that Orion simply ended support for the app. I suppose they let their entire app development team go? I'm not sure. Secondly, my latest video was about BINOVIEWERs. Now, I planned this for months, and back in June I actually contacted Orion, and I asked them if they had a BINOVIEWER that I could borrow for the review in my video about BINOVIEWERs to show all of you. And by the way, it has since been published. Now, on June 24th, just 2 weeks before Orion shut down, their e-marketing wrote me back with this. Unfortunately, it's not our practice to loan equipment to YouTube reviewers. I wish I could be of more help, but that's our policy at this time. Now, obviously, it's their prerogative. They can do anything they want. What really caught my eye, though, was that this came from e-marketing. Now, in this day and age, places like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram have got to be primary e-marketing outlets, right? Just a little bit strange. But, in hindsight, it makes me wonder if he just thought perhaps that such marketing was pointless, given that they'd be gone in 2 weeks and he would be out of a job. I can totally understand. I've been in that situation. It's a scary place to be. And again, I hope he is lucky and finds a new job quickly. Now, to highlight how bizarre Orion's response was, when I wrote to Explore Scientific to ask if I could borrow one of their BINOVIEWERs, they said, sure, yeah. That's like, okay, that's a nice reply. Many libraries are part of the Library Telescope program, where you can check out a small telescope just like you check out a book. The program had adopted over the years their standard telescope, which is the Orion Starblast Dobsonian, this guy right here. It's a 4.5-inch telescope that, if you can believe it, it has a parabolic mirror. Fortunately, the program has been able to pivot quickly, and they've adopted the Jumel Z114 as their equivalent to Dobsonian to use in the program. So I'm glad that they were able to so quickly find a replacement. Now, clearly, the worst part of this are the employees' lives that have been upheaved suddenly and without warning, perhaps, especially in such an expensive place to live like California. Watsonville, in particular, holds a very special place in my heart because I lived there for a year during the great .com frenzy, nearly a quarter of a century ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I sincerely hope that they can find meaningful work quickly. It's a very scary time for sure. There are also other victims too, including many of you watching. I'll end this with a story. A gentleman that I've been in contact with told me about his very upsetting experience. He bought a 16-inch GoTo Dobsonian from Orion for a whole lot of money. The motorized base was giving him problems, and he was working with them to fix it. Now, about a week before Orion disappeared, the service personnel told him to mail it in so they could work on it and fix it. Now, he crated it up, and he sent it all the way across the country to the Watsonville headquarters, and almost immediately after that, Orion shut down. He's tried to contact everybody. He's gotten 0 responses, just like I've gotten 0 responses. Somewhere in the Orion warehouse sits a crate with his name and address on it. Inside is his telescope, and he is out several thousands of dollars. I can only imagine how many of you watching this are in the same boat. When it comes to situations like this shutdown and how it was so gracelessly handled, all blame pretty much lays at the feet of the executives. They get paid the big bucks for a reason. They have to be the ultimate in being professional and shutting things down. I hope they can make it right for the people like my friend who is now considering giving up the hobby entirely because of such a huge financial loss. If you've heard any updates, feel free to leave a comment down below. I ask that you please be civil though, okay? Let's be nice. Thanks for watching. Clear skies, and I promise my next video is going to be on a much happier subject. In the meantime, feel free to check out the biggest restoration that I ever did on an Orion electronic telescope. Click on that link right there. Thanks.